We present We're Not Experts, the antidote to history podcasts. We don't have a piano, but your chairman is James Nason.
And welcome to the We're Not Experts History Podcast. My name is James, and I shall be your host today. Without Sarah, you'll be pleased to know. Today I'm going to tell you about the radio comedy panel show I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. And I will start by declaring an interest. I've been listening to this for over 30 years. I love it. For over 5 decades, BBC Radio 4's I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue has stood as a beloved bastion of British comedy, a show that proudly proclaims itself the antidote to panel games. This enduring tagline, first heard in the first episode of Series 2 in 1973, perfectly encapsulates its unique premise, a deliberate, joyful subversion of the traditional quiz show format. So instead of seeking correct answers, I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue thrives on the absurd, the improvised and hilariously incorrect, creating a world where wit and silliness reign supreme.
Hello again and welcome to another enjoyable edition of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. And I use the word enjoyable in the yes, jumping up and down on these drawing pins in my bare feet is most enjoyable, Mr. Valder. Meaning of the word.
I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue first graced our airwaves on the 11th of April 1972. Its initial reception quickly established it as a fresh and unconventional voice in radio comedy, setting the stage for its legendary run. The show's enduring appeal lies in its consistent ability to deliver intelligent yet utterly nonsensical humour. It has cultivated a dedicated cult following, with listeners returning faithfully to revel in its convoluted games, deadpan delivery and the unparalleled chemistry of its panellists. I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue offers a comforting escape into a realm where logic is optional and laughter is guaranteed, cementing its place as a cherished institution in the landscape of British radio and British comedy.
Well, I must say I've recently become concerned about the amount of gratuitous, sexually explicit material that's broadcast these days. Lovemaking isn't something for public display. It's a heavenly gift, a beautiful personal experience of adoration to be cherished privately between you and whoever you're doing it to in the back of the car.
The origins of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue can be traced back to the creative mind of Graham Garden, who, alongside former controller of Radio 4 Tony Whitby, who commissioned the show, brought this unique concept to life. Now, the story goes that it was either Graham Garden or David Hatch, who produced the first show, that suggested that Humphrey Lyttelton would be the ideal host. Notably, neither of them can actually remember which one said it, so they both credit each other. Either way, it was a stroke of genius. It's also been said that Graham conceived of a show that didn't have a script, noting that they would be paid the same as if they were making a show that did have a script, meaning there'd be less work. From its very first broadcast, the show began to carve out its distinctive niche, promising listeners something entirely different from the standard panel game fare. The early years saw the formation of what would become a legendary ensemble. While Humphrey Lyttelton quickly became synonymous with the chairman's role, it's notable that he shared the chairmanship in the first series. The panel itself saw familiar faces establish their comedic personas. Barry Cryer, a stalwart of British comedy, initially served as a host for 6 episodes in the first series, before settling into his much-loved role as a permanent panellist from the second series onwards. He was joined by Graham Garden and Tim Brooke-Taylor, forming the core of the show's comedic engine.
Okay, our first round is called Blatant Lies, where the teams suggest the most obviously untrue statements imaginable. I'm really looking forward to this one. Beat that if you can. Actually, the idea for this game arose recently when Barry told us his tailor said he has the body measurements of an Olympic athlete with the muscular structure of a 20-year-old. Ludicrous. As if Barry Crow's ever seen a tailor.
Beyond the mainstays, the very first series also featured other notable talents. Joe Kendall appeared in the very first episode and a further 6 shows during the first series. The legendary John Cleese also made 8 appearances in that first series, but never returned after that because he didn't like the show's unstructured format. The early panellists, including Graham Garden, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Joe Kendall, had shared a comedic history, having all been prominent figures in the hugely popular radio sketch show I'm Sorry I Read That Again. Furthermore, Graham Garden, Bill Oddie and Tim Brooke-Taylor were also well known for their work in the beloved television comedy series The Goodies, bringing a pre-existing comedic rapport and a loyal fan base to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. Bill Oddie was also a member of the I'm Sorry I'll Read That Again team. Now, the ensemble was further solidified with the arrival of Willie Rushton in Series 3, completing what many consider to be the classic lineup.
It says here it's time to hear the teams entertain us by singing. I've waited 27 years and it hasn't happened yet. They're going to play a round called Censored Song, which is their protest against the high levels of blatant sexual innuendo polluting our airwaves these days. Whatever became of the classic broadcasting style of the 50s and 60s, we didn't need gratuitous filth to enjoy Hans and Lottie Haas in the foothills of the Himalayas, with Hans demonstrating the innocent pleasure of mounting an elephant, or Lottie getting ready to take one up the Khyber.
This foundational period established the show's early format, which, while still evolving, already showcased its signature blend of improvised silliness, musical interludes, and Humphrey Lyttelton's masterful deadpan control. The initial audience and critical response were overwhelmingly positive, recognising the show's innovative approach to comedy and its refreshing departure from conventional broadcasting. This early success laid the groundwork for the decades of laughter that would follow. Clue fans consider the classic lineup to be Humph, Graham, Barry, Tim and Willie. From Willie's debut in 1974 until his last appearance in 1996, this lineup appeared 135 times, many of which featured Colin Sell at the piano. This familiar panel helped to cement the show as Radio 4's stalwart and a firm fan favourite.
Well, it's now time to meet the teams, and this week we have 4 comedians off the television. And there aren't many who've been off the television as long as these.
The heart of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue's enduring appeal lies in its ingenious, often baffling and consistently hilarious rounds. In over 500 games, they've played nearly 500 different games or variations of games by my reckoning. But they're not just mere games, they're comedic vehicles designed to showcase the panellists' quick wit, improvisational skills and the show's unique brand of absurdity. Over the decades, a core of set rounds has become iconic alongside a rich tapestry of other memorable challenges.
Let's be serious for a bit, because there are people listening at home following this game. Sorry, I'll read that again. It says people listening in a home.
At the pinnacle of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue's comedic repertoire stands Mornington Crescent. This impenetrable game, named after a London Underground station, is perhaps the show's most famous and baffling segment. Some say its rules are entirely fictitious, evolving spontaneously or not at all with each play, leading to increasingly elaborate and nonsensical explanations from the panellists.
Right, back to the game, teams, and since we're in Cambridge, we'll play according to Trumpington's variation. That's a refined and highly cerebral version, generally preferred by intellectuals. But we're going to play it anyway. It tends to be rather a defensive game, teams, in which positional play is of the essence, so take care not to become blocked, boxed or cornered. I'll start you off, teams, with Albright's opening. Okay? Totteridge and Whetstone. Tim, will you continue, please?
Well, I think there's only one way to go from there, but I'm not going that way. It's usually Regent Street, but I'll try Lower Regent Street.
Oh, careful. King Street. Yeah. Which one? Cambridge one.
Don't be silly.
That's just foolish. Oh, yes. Not the Hammersmith London one. Cambridge. King Street in Cambridge. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. That's right. Go on, Willie.
Oval Road. Thank you. Oh, God.
Swiss.
You get boxed. She knows Albright's opening.
Swiss cottage. Swiss cottage.
that's true. Hendon...
Oh, go on.
Hendon Central.
Central?
Central, yeah.
Yeah.
You're out.
Craven Cottage.
Bond Street. Thank you. Fulham Palace Road.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you. You could have whooped.
I think you're...
Thank you.
I think you're boxed. I think you're boxed, Willie.
No.
He's blocked.
I think
Boxed.
so.
He's not boxed.
Blocked, but not boxed.
Far from cornered.
But, well, we could call in the diagonals here and do Bishopsgate.
That's good. Oh, we laugh in the face of danger.
Ha ha ha! Mitre Court.
Aha! Whack! That was.
Fitzwilliam Street.
Over the pavilion.
That's levelled it now.
Back!
Well, may you pause.
The embankment.
Oh.
Ha ha ha.
Oh.
See the smiles vanish from their faces. It's like, whoosh.
The colour has washed from their cheeks.
You'd swear they're in black and white now, wouldn't you? Look at them.
The Hague.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Very good, very good. Folkestone Road.
Mornington Crescent.
Its enduring mystery and the chairman's deadpan pronouncements of victory or defeat have cemented its status as a comedic masterpiece. Mornington Crescent first appeared in 1978, and in 1990 the game was preceded by a letter apparently sent in by the often confused Mrs. Trellis.
Before we do, I've noticed our mailbag has once more been flooded with a card from a Mrs. Trellis of North Wales, who warns against the effect of an unhealthy diet. Dear Melvin, she writes, the doctor has told me I must stop eating a sweet after each meal. He said if I carried on much longer, we'd have no furniture left at all. P.S. Who can forget Leeds 2, Liverpool 47? What a great road sign that was. On with the...
Another staple of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue is one song to the tune of another, a deceptively simple concept that yields consistently hilarious results.
Okay, the teams are going to sing for us now. In the round called One Song to the Tune of Another. This is a well-established concept requiring explanation only to anyone who's slept through every show for the last 30-odd years. So I'll be interested to read this. The construction and flow of a song is very much akin to a clock. The numbers around the face represent the words, while the hands sweep round like the tune, carrying the melody along. This analogy obviously only works with a traditional timepiece, as digital clocks don't have hands. So in your mind's eye, teams, you should have a picture of a clock, perhaps perched by your bedside. And as you visualize this scene, I know exactly what you're thinking. What about the annoying little tick in the background? At the piano, we have Colin Searle.
The panellists are tasked with singing the lyrics of one well-known song to the melody of another. The resulting musical mashups, often delivered with earnest attempts at sincerity, highlight the inherent absurdity and the panellists' musical or anti-musical talents. And this was the first game ever played on the show.
Willie, I'd like you to start, please, by singing the words of A Whiter Shade of Pale by Procol Harum to the tune of My Old Man's a Dustman.
We skipped the light fandango and turned cartwheels across the floor. I was feeling kind of seasick, but the crowd called out for more. The room was humming hard as the ceiling flew away. When we called out for another drink, the waiter brought a tray. That's how it was that later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned white as shade of pale. She said there was no reason and the truth is plain to see. But I wandered through my playing cards and would not let her be. By the 16th Vestal Virgin who was living on the coast. But although my eyes are open, they might just as well be closed. That's how it was that later, as soon as I told his tale, that a patient nurse just coasted, turned off quite a shade of pale.
A game called Sound Charades relies on the panellist's ability to convey a phrase or title using only the spoken word, and often with riotous and utterly unrecognisable outcomes. This game highlights the cleverness of the panellists and the show. Now, Sound Charades was based on the TV show Give Us a Clue, and was a reason to make jokes about Lionel Blair, who was said to have been a fan of the show.
The game is based on the erstwhile popular TV show Give Us a Clue, where players enacted the title of a film or a book or a play without speaking and within a strict time limit. The expert's expert was, of course, Lionel Blair. Who can ever forget opposing team captain Eunice Stubbs sitting open-mouthed as he tried to pull off 12 angry men in under 2 minutes.
This is also the game that spawned the characters of Hamish and Dougal, played by Graham and Barry, who end up with their own Radio 4 show.
And here again is a mystery voice for listeners at home.
Dinner ladies. Dinner ladies.
TV series.
2 words.
Carry on.
Hamish, you'll have had your tea.
Oh, well, no, but...
will you join me in a wee dram?
I'd prefer a whiskey dram if it's all the same to you, Dougal.
And a toast.
Yay.
To the ladies.
The ladies. Except for wee Jessie.
Oh, not wee Jessie.
Oh, no, she's always on at me. Dinna put your hand on my knee. Dinna fiddle with my bra strap. Oh.
Point taken, Hamish. The ladies,
Aye.
except for wee Jessie.
Aye.
And Moira.
Moira?
Oh, dinna poke your tongue in my ear. Dinna point that Polaroid at me.
A Polaroid?
She has an uncertain grasp of language.
The ladies, then.
Except for wee Jessie and Moira.
Cheers.
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 Sound Charades first appeared in the second series and is the most played game in the show's history. Beyond these giants, I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue has delighted audiences with a plethora of other inventive rounds. These include late arrivals, where panellists invent absurd and often pun-laden names of fictional characters arriving late at a grand event. The Uxbridge English Dictionary, which was originally called New Definitions, invites panellists to provide humorous definitions for existing words, often twisting their meanings to absurd effect. Word for Word is a word game about words. First played on the show's inaugural episode, it challenges team members to say a word that has no logical link to the previous word. The opposing team then has to buzz in if they detect any connection, no matter how tenuous, between the words. There's also the game Just a Minute, which is based on the popular radio game Just a Minute, and in this musical variation, teams are given a song to sing with piano accompaniment. They must sing the song without repetition, deviation, hesitation or repetition. It was also an opportunity to make a joke at the expense of Nicholas Parsons.
Now we're going to do a round entitled Just a Minute, which is of course based on Just a Minute, the show which made Nicholas Parsons what he is today. Available for work.
Another music round is called Pick Up Song. A song is played to establish its words and tempo, and the panellist joins in with the singing. The sound of the track is then turned down, requiring the panellist to continue alone. When the sound is turned up again, the panellist must be perfectly in time with the track. The game was first played in Series 5, which was 1977, under the name of Sing Along.
You now, Rory, would you accompany Tom Lehrer singing the Elements song? Best of luck. There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, and rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium, uranium, europium, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lanthanum, and ossimium, and radium, and gold, tactium, and indium, and gallium, and iodine, and thorium, thulium, and thallium. There's yttrium and ytterbium, actinium, iridium, and boron, gadolinium, niobium, iridium. There's strontium and silicon and silver and samarium and bismuth, bromine, lithium, beryllium, and barium. There's holmium and helium and hafnium and erbium and phosphorus and francium and fluorine and terbium and manganese and mercury, molybdenum and magnesium, dysprosium and scandium and cerium and cesium and lead, praseodymium and platinum and plutonium, palladium, promethium, potassium, polonium and tantalum, tectetium, titanium, tellurium and cadmium and calcium and chromium and curium. There's sulfur, californium and fermium and berkelium and also rubidium, titanium, and
Jack, I wanted to do that.
The thing is, Rory, if you're not going to commit.
Swanee Kazoo, which is a team game where one panellist plays the Swanee whistle whilst the other plays a kazoo to a tune of a well-known song. As Jack D once observed, Swanee Kazoo, the two words go together like Fred Astaire and gingivitis. This game is based on Hump's school days when he may or may not have been a member of a kazoo orchestra. For many years since the 1990s, the show has ended with different games. Quite often, these have been film club or songbook. The teams are asked to provide film or song titles that they have tweaked to suit certain occupations or sections of society. Sound charades, one song to the tune of another, Mornington Crescent and Late Arrivals, have all been played over 200 times in Clue's 563 shows. The humour throughout these rounds is multifaceted. It thrives on the panellists' quick-witted improvisation, their ability to build on each other's jokes, and the recurring gags that have become part of the show's fabric. Chief amongst these is the constant and often risque and always unseen presence of Samantha, the lovely assistant, whose various and often improbable duties are a source of endless amusement and innuendo. The audience's participation, whether through laughter, groans or applause, is also a vital component feeding the comedic energy.
Time now for a musical diversion with Pick-Up Song, where the teams sing along to well-known records. Samantha nipped out to the gramophone library earlier, and as the eager assistants down there suspected she might be a country music lover, they'd got out every Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson record available. Well, in my experience, she's certainly always been a big fan of Willie's, and now she's got to work her way through a complete box set of Johnny's.
The enduring charm of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue is inextricably linked to the extraordinary talents of its panellists. Over the decades, a cast of comedic geniuses has graced the show's microphone, each contributing their unique brand of wit, improvisation and absurdity to the proceedings. While the chairman provides the framework, it is the panellists who truly bring the games to life, often veering into hilarious tangents and unexpected comedic gold.
I tell you what, people often ask our team members, where can I see your latest show? To which they reply, on UK Gold. That's too true to be funny.
The bedrock of the show's early success was undoubtedly its core quartet, with guest panellists primarily filling in when the regulars were unavailable. Barry Cryer, with his vast repertoire of jokes and a twinkle in his eye, was a master of the one-liner and a consistent source of laughter, often punctuated by his infectious and distinctive laugh that became a beloved part of the show's soundscape.
OK, well, it's now time to play a round of sound charades. This is similar to the old parlour game of charades, in which the players mime film, book and play titles for the others to guess. However, in our version, as you probably know, the panellists are permitted the use of their mouths. Recently, we experimented with a similar game called smell charades. But we were forced to evacuate the studio after Willie did Animal Farm.
In stereo, be fair.
As one of the show's creators, Graham Garden's inventive mind, razor-sharp quick wit and willingness to embrace the absurd were fundamental to Clue's unique style. In my opinion, he's one of the most underrated comics this country has ever produced.
I've brought along a selection of Christmas-related questions posed by our listeners, to which I'd like the teams to provide answers. Jack, the first one's for you. What's considered bad luck to do during the 12 days of Christmas?
Invite your relatives over.
Your answer is light a fresh fire. Keep the same Yule log blazing in your open fire throughout.
Well, I don't get my Yule log until Boxing Day, generally.
Graham, now, how about this?
Hang on, Hum. There's a moment to be savoured here.
Kim Brooke-Taylor's comedic persona, often characterised by a slightly flaccid or pompous air, provided a delightful contrast and endless opportunities for gentle teasing from Humph, but his sense of humour and his wit were just as quick as anyone else's. Then Willie Rushton, who joined in Series 3, added a wonderfully dry, laconic wit and a knack for unexpected musical contributions as well as satire. Their combined chemistry, built on years of shared comedic history, including I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again and the goodies for some of them, created a comfortable yet riotously funny dynamic.
I think it was Nietzsche who said that life is a choice between suffering and boredom. He didn't say anything about having to put up with both at the same time.
But as the years progressed, and particularly after the passing of some of the original members, the panel saw the introduction of new voices who seamlessly integrated into the Clue family while bringing their own distinct styles. With Willie Rushton's death, his place on the panel was not filled by a single replacement, but rather by a rotating list of talented guests, ensuring variety and fresh comedic perspectives. In the 1990s, those guests would often be Paul Merton, Tony Hawks, Jeremy Hardy, or Sandy Toksvig. In more recent years, Marcus Brigstock and Miles Jupp have become firm favourites, each with their characteristic comedic approaches. Brigstock's energetic and often political charged wit and Jupp's wonderfully awkward charm have ensured the show's continued comedic vibrancy.
Well, I notice it's very nearly the end of the show, but it's just time to squeeze in a quick round of Italian Radio Times. Samantha has to go now. She's off to meet her Italian gentleman friend who's taking her out for an ice cream. She says she likes nothing better than to spend the evening licking the nuts off a large Neapolitan.
The show has also been graced by a diverse array of other talented individuals. Notable frequent guests include Tony Hawks, currently standing at 68 appearances, who recently surpassed Jeremy Hardy on 57 appearances, and whose passing left a significant void, if only for his singing voice.
Okay, Jeremy, I'd like you to sing the words of Kung Fu Fighting to the tune of Scarborough Fair.
Everybody was Kung Fu fighting. Those cats were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought with expert timing. They were funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them up, they were chopping them down. It was an ancient Chinese art and everybody knew their part. Fainting, slip, and a kicking from the head. Should we stop there?
I smell points there.
I've often been of the opinion that any guest that goes on there who can't sing will automatically be a fan favourite. As well as those, we also had Sandy Toksvig, who was the first panellist born outside the UK. Rob Brydon, Pippa Evans, Stephen Fry made his first appearance in 1986. Other significant contributors include Paul Merton, who made 18 appearances all during the 1990s. In more recent years, we've had Rachel Parrish, Susan Cowman, Milton Jones, John Finnemore, Bill Tidy made appearances in the 80s and 90s, Joe Brand and Harry Hill. The variety of these voices, from established comedians to rising stars, has continually refreshed the show's dynamic.
Okay, it's time now for the teams to sing along to some well-known discs in the round called Pick Up Song. As is customary, record researcher Samantha made her regular visit to the gramophone library earlier. The kindly old archivist keeps a small terrier for company, and Samantha makes a point of taking him a treat of a biscuit or two. The archivist says he always loves to watch his little dog as he scampers up to Samantha with a couple of crackers held out and pants around her ankles.
The dynamic between the panellists and the chairman is crucial to the show's success. Under Humphrey Lyttelton, the panellists were often the playful targets of his dry put-downs and mock exasperation, a tradition that Jack D has continued with his own brand of world-weary humour. This interplay, coupled with the panellists' ability to bounce off each other, improvise on the spot, and consistently deliver unexpected comedic gems, is what makes I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue a timeless masterclass in comedy. For over 35 years, the voice of Humphrey Lyttelton was the unwavering anchor of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. As chairman, his contribution was nothing short of monumental, shaping the very essence and enduring appeal of the show. Lyttelton wasn't just a host, he was the unflappable ringmaster of comedic chaos, a master of the deadpan delivery, and a purveyor of dry wit that became instantly recognisable and deeply cherished by millions. From the last show of Series 1 until his death in 2008, Humph never missed a recording.
Stoke City's most famous son is undoubtedly Sir Stanley Matthews. Rated as the finest controller of the ball ever, he played professionally well into his 50s. But football isn't the only place fans go to see an astonishingly old man dribbling in... On my left, please welcome Barry Cryer.
His distinctive style was characterised by an understated authority. While the panellists indulged in glorious tangents and absurd improvisations, Lyttelton remained the calm centre, steering the ship with a raised eyebrow, a perfectly timed interjection, or a cutting yet never cruel put-down. His ability to read out the most ridiculous questions and scenarios with a straight face, only to follow them with a devastatingly witty aside, was a hallmark of his genius. This precise comedic timing and his refusal to break character, even amidst the most uproarious laughter from the audience or his panellists, created a unique dynamic that set I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue apart.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. You join us this week in the city of Brighton, England's trendy South Coast resort. We are in fact guests of the Brighton Comedy Festival, to which we've been invited to bring something a little different. Brighton was heavily bombed during World War II, but Adolf Hitler ordered that the Royal Pavilion should be left intact, as he intended to use it as a base following a successful invasion. Hitler had a particular affinity for the building, as it only had one ballroom.
Lyttelton's presence profoundly influenced the show's tone and comedic rhythm. He fostered an environment where silliness was not only permitted but encouraged, yet always with the loose framework he maintained. Memorable moments from this tenure are countless, with his elaborate and often bizarre introductions to the panellists and Samantha, to his classic put-downs that become legendary among fans. Recurring jokes, such as the ever-present innuendo surrounding Samantha's activities, or the increasingly convoluted explanations for Mornington Crescent moves, were often delivered with Lyttelton's signature blend of mock seriousness and underlying amusement. His tenure is widely regarded as the golden age of the show, a testament to his unparalleled skill and comedic vision. Beyond the chairman and the panellists, an unsung hero of the show's musical segments and comedic timing has always been the pianist. While several talented musicians have graced the keyboard over the years, the most enduring and iconic figure in this role is undoubtedly Colin Sell.
Now, as this round requires accompaniment, listeners will be shocked to learn that regular pianist Colin Sell was double booked this evening. However, after an acrimonious row and the threat of legal action, the other show reluctantly conceded defeat and agreed to take him.
Sell, with his masterful accompaniment and often stoic demeanour, became a regular target for Lyttelton's gentle but persistent jibes. These playful exchanges between Lyttelton and Sell, often involving mock criticism of Sell's playing or his general disposition, become a beloved recurring gag, adding another layer of unique humour to the show. Sells' musical talent, combined with his deadpan reactions to the chairman's teasing, makes it an integral part of the I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue experience.
Pretty close. I'd like to take the opportunity to say that it's lovely to have Colin Sell back on the programme.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
But, like George Washington, I cannot tell a lie, so I won't.
Colin has been in the show's regular pianist since 1975. Prior to his appointment, Dave Lee had filled the role, having worked with most of the team on I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again. Colin has appeared on more I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue shows than anyone else. The long and illustrious run of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue has inevitably seen significant changes to its beloved lineup. The passing of cherished panellists such as Willie Rushton, Jeremy Hardy, Barry Cryer and Tim Brooke-Taylor left profound voids, keenly felt by both their fellow performers and the dedicated audience.
Seems we certainly got through a lot of awful games today. Hang on, wait a minute. I think I misread that. No, I didn't.
Each brought a unique comedic voice and personality to the show, and their absence marked the end of an era for many fans. However, perhaps the most monumental challenge the show faced was continuing after the death of its iconic chairman, Humphrey Lyttelton, in 2008. The question loomed, could Clue survive without Humph? The transition to a new chairman was handled with immense care and respect for Lyttelton's legacy. After a series of guest hosts, Jack Dee, Stephen Fry and Rob Brydon, it was Jack Dee who officially took over the chairmanship in 2009.
Barry Cryer, it's marvellous how he can still get up to those high notes. The trouble is, he can't remember what he went up there for.
Dee, a renowned comedian in his own right, who had made 9 appearances and a panellist, faced the unenviable task of stepping into truly legendary shoes, a job he suggested he could never do when interviewed on radio about the vacancy. His approach has been to maintain the show's core spirit and structure, preserving the beloved rounds and the anarchic humour, while subtly bringing his own distinctive, dry and often exasperated style to the role. He has successfully navigated the balance between honouring the past and injecting new energy, proving that the format itself is robust enough to evolve. In my opinion, there was no one else that could have done the job as well as Jack, and he definitely saved the show for the future.
A lot of people writing asking what Colin wears during the show, and the answer is my patience.
Alongside the change in chairmanship, the show has welcomed a host of new regular and guest panellists who have seamlessly integrated into the Clue family. Comedians like Omid Jalili, Pippa Evans, Milton Jones, Phil Jupitus, Ross Noble, Vicky Pepperdine, Lucy Porter and Henning Vane have brought fresh perspectives and comedic talents to the panel.
Let's meet the panel. You wouldn't think 4 top comedians of outstanding quality with perfect timing, total originality and excellent acting skills would turn out to do this show. And you'd be right.
They have all embraced the show's unique rhythm, contributing to the games with their own brand of wit and often becoming targets of the chairman's gentle mockery, much in the tradition of their predecessors. This infusion of new voices has ensured the show's continued relevance and appeal, demonstrating its remarkable adaptability. Through these transitions, I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue has managed to retain its core identity. While the faces and voices may change, the fundamental commitment to improvised silliness, clever wordplay and the antidote to panel games ethos remains steadfast. The show's ability to adapt, mourn its losses and embrace new talent while staying true to its roots is a testament to its enduring brilliance and the timeless nature of its humour.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the show where fun and laughter go together like a horse and marriage.
Behind the microphone, the consistent brilliance of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue owes much to its dedicated production and writing team. Producers, particularly John Naismith, have played a crucial role in maintaining the show's distinctive tone and managing its unique blend of improvisation and structured chaos for many years. Similarly, the sharp wit and clever wordplay that define the show's scripts and chairman's introductions are largely thanks to writers like Ian Pattinson, whose contributions have been instrumental in crafting the show's enduring comedic voice. Patterson was the first scriptwriter for Humph, who wasn't a producer. Naismith and Pattinson's work ensured that the show remained fresh and hilarious while staying true to its established character. It was also through Pattinson that the current show got its unique introductions to whichever town they were playing at the time.
It's well documented in official records that the city's original name was Snottingham, or Home of Snots. But when the Normans came, they couldn't pronounce the letter S, so decreed the town be called Nottingham, or the Home of Knots. It's easy to understand why this change was resisted so fiercely by the people of Scunthorpe.
The wonderful legacy of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue is built on the incredible talents of those who have graced its microphones. We fondly remember the unique contributions of panellists and chairmen who are no longer with us, whose wit and comedic genius continue to resonate through the show's archives. Their performances laid the groundwork for the show's enduring success and remain a cherished part of its history.
And of course the audience clapping along very nicely. I had my doubts when I saw all the coaches outside, but...
After more than 50 years on the air, I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue stands as a unique cultural phenomenon, its longevity a testament to its singular comedic genius. Its enduring appeal lies in a delicate balance of factors: the consistent quality of its wit, its refusal to take itself seriously, and the comforting familiarity it offers its listeners. In an ever-changing media landscape, Clue has remained a steadfast source of intelligent, anarchic humour, providing a much-needed antidote to the often formulaic nature of other panel shows. Its ability to combine spontaneous improvisation with tightly crafted jokes, all delivered with a quintessential British sensibility, has cultivated a loyal fan base that spans generations.
Hello and welcome to a brand new series of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the show that does for comedy what Wallace did for Scottish independence and Gromit did for the Welsh nationalists.
The show's influence on British comedy is undeniable. It has not only launched and sustained the careers of numerous comedians, but has also inspired countless other comedic ventures with this innovative format. Its unique brand of surrealism and wordplay has left an indelible mark on the comedic landscape, proving that radio, far from being a dying medium, can be a vibrant platform for sophisticated and absurd humour. Clue's place in radio history is secured as one of the BBC's longest running and most cherished comedic programmes, a true institution that has adapted to change whilst preserving its core identity. The loyalty of the I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue's fanbase is remarkable. Listeners often speak of the show as a comforting presence and a weekly dose of laughter that brightens their day. This dedication extends beyond the airwaves. The show's live tours consistently sell out, as I found out to my own cost, allowing audiences to experience the unique magic firsthand. Merchandise from books of jokes to Mornington Crescent themed items is eagerly snapped up, demonstrating the depth of connection fans feel. Online communities and fan groups thrive, dissecting episodes, sharing favourite moments and celebrating the show's enduring legacy. This strong community engagement highlights how deeply Clue has woven itself into the fabric of British culture, a sentiment underscored by its recognition as the greatest radio comedy of all time by readers and a panel of expert judges of the Radio Times.
Hello and welcome to another series of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. I can promise you 3 things: hundreds of laughs, 10 fun-packed programmes and 2 broken promises.
Looking to the future, I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue shows no signs of losing its stride. With Jack D ably at the helm and a rotating cast of brilliant panellists, the show continues to attract new listeners whilst retaining its devoted following. Its timeless format, which prioritises quick thinking and absurd creativity over factual knowledge, ensures its continued relevance. The legacy of Clue is not just its jokes or its games, but in its unwavering commitment to pure, unadulterated silliness, a quality that will undoubtedly keep audiences laughing for many years to come.
Well, as we approach the end of the show, I noticed that Time's winged chariot is waiting to depart. Time's winged horse is ready to go, and luckily Time's winged bucket and shovel is handy.